In today's video, we will be talking about your lungs and the function of your lungs.
Your lungs are the most important part of your respiratory system. They are covered in a membrane called your pleural membrane, which protects your lungs from damage.
Pathway for air. Air enters the nose or mouth and it gets warm with the nasal passage before it enters your lungs, and this prevents damage to the lungs. The air then travels into the pharynx, and your epiglottis does not close, but it leaves the glottis open so that air can enter your trachea.
The trachea branches off into two bronchi. The bronchi then branch off into smaller tubes called bronchioles. These tubes enter into small sacs known as alveoli.
Your lungs have four important structural features. They have a thin, permeable respiratory membrane which helps facilitate diffusion. They have a large surface area which helps gas exchange. They have a good supply of blood and a breathing system for delivering oxygen.
Next, we will be talking about the function of the lungs. These provide the respiratory membrane, a large surface area, and the supply of blood. It's contained within your thoracic cavity and are protected by your rib cage. Your lungs are made up of delicate tissue, and the constant movement of the lungs could cause problems to the delicate tissue if it was not for the pleural membranes. These cover the lungs and act as a lubricant.
Gas exchange and ventilation. Gas exchange is how we get the oxygen required for aerobic cellular respiration, and this can happen in the lungs and in the cells.
Gas exchange is a process of gases diffusing in and out of tissues with their concentration gradient. It occurs both in the lungs and the body. In the lungs, oxygen diffuses from the air into the bloodstream, where it's transported by red blood cells to cells and tissues that make up the body.
The cells of all tissues are surrounded by interstitial fluid. Oxygen diffuses out of the blood and into the fluid, while carbon dioxide is transported out of the body. Your alveoli can also affect gas exchange. Large numbers of alveoli allow for maximum surface area for gas exchange.
The muscle that separates your thoracic cavity from your abdominal cavity is called your diaphragm. Your diaphragm plays a huge role in ventilation. When you inhale, your diaphragm contracts, which shortens and flattens the muscle. Your external intercostal muscle between each rib contracts, which pulls your ribcage up and out. This acts to increase the volume of your thoracic cavity, decrease pressure, and allow air to push into your lungs.
When you exhale, your diaphragm relaxes, which lengthens and raises the muscle. Your external intercostal muscles between each rib then relax, which pulls your ribcage in and down. This decreases the volume of your thoracic cavity and increases pressure in the atmosphere, and this allows air to rush out of your lungs. All these processes make your lungs work better and more efficient, but there are some lung diseases, such as asthma, COPD, cystic fibrosis, and bronchitis.
There are many lung diseases, but we will only be talking about one lung disease, which is called COPD, which stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It is a chronic progressive disease that involves both obstructive bronchitis and emphysema. The symptoms are coughing, wheezing, chest tightness, and shortness of breath. It is caused by cigarette smoke, exposure to pollution, and dust or fumes.
It causes permanent damage to the alveoli. The respiratory system increases your breathing rate and heart rate in an attempt to maintain oxygen levels. There is no cure for COPD, but there is a new drug that the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, approved of, and this slows the progress of COPD, which is called the Stiloto-Respimat. It combines two different existing COPD drugs into one drug that works more effectively, and you only need to inhale it once. This drug expands the airways in your lungs and allows for oxygen to travel further in the lungs and be absorbed in the bloodstream and carried to the rest of the body.
Created using Powtoon.